Hi guys, and welcome back to the one and only Hellraiser blog. Big weekend of boxing coming up, topped I would say by the heavyweight world title fight. We've got Vladimir Klitschko going to box our very own Tyson Fury. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that fight. I mean, I've got to say, look, I heavily favour Klitschko on everything we've seen so far in their careers up till now. Klitschko's definitely looked technically the better boxer. I supplied Tyson Fury the opponent for his first ever fight, which he won in the first round. It was a bit of a walkover. It wasn't a competitive bout, but I mean that would have been a monumentous balls up if we'd have brought someone in that came in and turned him over on his debut. Play it safe. We give him a guy that he knocked him out, and he'd done the business. Knocked him out in the first round. I actually supplied one other opponent for him in a Brazilian chap called Nascimento, who came over, and actually he gave Tyson Fury a few problems during the fight. Gave him a decent workout, I would say. And Tyson Fury actually really impressed me that night. His hand speed. I thought his hand speed in the flesh when I saw it was a lot better than I anticipated it would be. I've seen him box in the flesh plenty of times, but when I was actually, and I was in the corner of the other boxer, you pay a lot more closer attention to what's going on. And I was quite happy actually with the job that we did for Nascimento, because I think we employed the best possible tactics that we could to get him as far as he could. But Fury just had, too much for him, and that was that. Anyway, back to the fight this weekend. Like I say, if someone gave me £1,000, do what you want with it, put a bet. Well, firstly, look, there's I Bet Boxing, who incidentally sponsor us. I mean, I Bet Boxing are doing a deal where you can get 8-1 on a inside the distance win with Klitschko for Klitschko. So if you go on their site, you click Klitschko to win inside the distance, you get 8-1, which is phenomenal odds. I think there's a limit on what you can actually have, the amount you can bet, but it's like a way of, I suppose, getting people to bet with them. But definitely worth taking advantage with. ibetboxing.com. The weigh-in took place. Moving on from that, the weigh-in took place. Fury came in a pound heavier. Fury actually looked like he boiled down. He looks like he's in very good nick, very very good shape, and as if he had boiled down to the weight. He's still a pound bigger. I'd imagine by the time they get in there and he's had some food, and that he'll be probably even more like filled out and bigger again. Whether that would play a part, I don't know. But I know that the Klitschkos don't like fighting big guys. If you look at the voluntary defences that they've made, they always choose smaller guys, cruiserweights, slower guys. Here, they've picked a big guy who's got a longer reach. He's ambitious. He's unbeaten in Fury, and he's fast. Do you know what? He's a really fast guy, and the only reason that I can think why they've gone along with it, because we've all seen champions that avoid their mandatories. With the governing bodies, they somehow manage to slip through the net for as long as they can. But here they've clearly made a decision and taken a stand. Right, we're not going to vacate, or we're not going to move on. We're not going to avoid Fury. We're going to fight him. And I'd imagine that the reason why is Sky Sports. They bring in a huge amount of money. And I'm sure everybody concerned realises, right, okay, we take this fight and we all make a packet. And also, if look, Fury can win, and if Fury does win, yes, he gets a mammoth payday. He gets a huge payday. But he also fulfills his own dream and ambitions. He loves boxing. You can tell he does. For me, Fury is an intelligent guy. He comes across with all his joking around on Twitter and messing about and crazy stunts, of which my favourite was playing the guitar in the ring after a fight. It was really made me laugh so much. I just thought this guy's crazy. But actually, I think he's a lot cleverer than what he gets credit for. He's an intelligent guy, and I'm sure he'll have some tricks and some tactics up his sleeve. I just think. There's just no way I can predict him to win. But look, Tyson Fury, if anything, is unpredictable. We'll see what he turns out and what he can do on the day. And I pray that he does win. I've dealt with his family, and I've helped with the sparring for Tyson Fury before. We made some sparring in France for him, and we've had some of his cousins on my shows at King's Cross. They're good people to deal with. You know, I mean, sometimes I think they maybe have a reputation for not being like that. I can only say for myself, but they are. To me, they've been good people. I've enjoyed seeing their progression, and they're intelligent people. Don't be fooled, right? If the Klitschkos think they're going to fight a donut, this guy, he's got a heart of a lion. He will fight till his back teeth get knocked out, and he's a cleverer guy than I think maybe a lot of people think he is. If they underestimate him, they might run into some problems. I wouldn't be so surprised if Fury really does rock the boat, because he's got that personality, that way about him, where, say, when David Haye boxed, he sort of went into his sort of almost like a journeyman mode against him, like ran away really. Which, look, if Klitschko was throwing punches at my head, I'd be running away, but I don't think Fury has got that in him. I think he might move as a tactic, but not for long. You know, Fury's in there to win. He would rather get carried out on his shield, and I think that's why the pay-per-view sales, I think, will go through the roof. That's why I think his popularity soars, because people know with Fury, right, you might get knocked out. There's a very real possibility he'll get knocked out, but Fury will fight. He'll stand there. He'll go for it. If he has to, he'll stand toe to toe, even if it means getting knocked out. He will go to the you know, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. He'll go for it, and that's why one thing we're definitely guaranteed of is entertainment. In fact, you're never definitely guaranteed of anything with Fury. He'll do what he wants to do. Don't hold me responsible or accountable for anything he does. We'll enjoy it on Saturday. I will be watching it in the One Ton pub on Tottenham Court Road, who I believe are showing it. Also this weekend, we've got James DeGale goes to Canada, British world champion, defending his title abroad. I find that actually quite intriguing, because Bute looked like dead at the weight when he fought Froch. You know, he looked like he barely fit his body into that weight division. An absolute stretch and a half, and this is like ages ago now, like over years ago. He made the weight, got stopped. He looked like he got stopped because he had no punch resistance, which he really lost that huge amount of weight. Not surprising. He gets stopped, moves up to light heavy, gets beat by John Pascal, his fellow Canadian-based fighter. Gets beat, and now he's moving back down to super middle. If he struggled to make super middle before, let me tell you, he's gonna really, really, really struggle to make super middle now. And James DeGale, I think, really just coming into his... Well, he should be just coming to his prime. He had a lot of amateur fights, okay? So maybe, if possible, guys can shoot their bolt in the amateurs when they have that many at a high level for so long. You know, intense, because in the amateurs you're fighting hard fight. You know, you box in the Olympics, you fight like, you know, number 5 in the world. You win that fight, you then fight number 8 in the world. You win that fight, you might be fighting number 3 in the world. And then 2 days later, you're fighting number 1 in the world. That's how the Olympics works. In the old days, you wouldn't have had James DeGale versus George Groves that soon into their careers. But sort of been proved that it wasn't such a bad move. I mean, it was a risky one, because if one of them had got badly beat, you could then say, well, that set them right back. But it was a close fight. They've both gone on to have huge fights. I mean, look, George Groves made fortunes boxing Carl Froch at Wembley. One off that. I mean, I was at that event. It was a matchroom show. What a show! I mean, can't ever remember having been at such a well-attended and great event. It was enormous. It was huge. And DeGale, I think DeGale wins and Groves gets a couple of wins. Those two can box again. And that'd be interesting, because Groves won the last one, but now obviously DeGale's on the crest of a wave. Signed with Al Heyman, earning big bucks, I would imagine, for this, going to defend his British title, his world title over in Canada, in the other guy's backyard. Yeah, lots of things to look forward to. Anyway, let's see this weekend. I'm going Klitschko stoppage and DeGale stoppage. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.